So, Emmett Till was a 14-year-old boy from Mississippi that was mutilated and murdered by these two men here in 1955. Now, even with so much evidence against them, an all-white jury found them not guilty. Now, if they did this under slavery days, they would have not gotten away with that. Slaves are property, right? And property is valuable. I mean, like, if you buy a car, or even just a secondhand car, would you, like, start scratching it? Would you start puncturing the tires, ripping up the upholstery? No, because you might want to sell it later. And you just bought something that's very expensive. Why would you damage it? It doesn't make any sense, especially if you want to sell it later. It doesn't make any sense. So the slave owners protected their property. Some slave owners abused their property, which didn't make any sense, but some slave owners did. The vast majority did not. And this is what drove the slave owners crazy about the abolitionists, because they were exaggerating about slavery. Now, what you also have to understand is that Northerners who hated slavery, they were also complaining about the abolitionists. They hated the abolitionists because the abolitionists were exaggerating about slavery. It was so annoying. Anyway, now, if Emmett Till was a slave, the slave owner would get the authorities to round them up, bring them to trial, find them guilty, and then execute them. Emmett Till's slave owner would have a lawyer or a team of lawyers to prosecute the hell out of them, and those guys would be, they would be done for. And who do you think would be part of the jury pool? Well, it would be slave owners. They would never let them get away with that under the slave system. But under the free system, you could pretty much get away with anything, or you could get a slap on the wrist when it comes to attacking, murdering black people, or destroying their property. We all remember what happened to Black Wall Street, right? But again, if Black Wall Street was a slave community, all those Caucasians would have been rounded up and executed because they destroyed a massive amount of property. I mean, the slave owners are not going to let you get away with that. That's the difference between the slave system and the free system. Justice under the slave system and no justice under the free system. Huge, huge, huge difference between the slave system and the free system. Now, there's a lot of lies and misinformation about slavery and history in general.